Well, hello there. Today is January 1st, 2021. Sorry. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts about 2020 and what I did at the end of the year to move into 2021 without taking 2020 baggage. So, if you're watching this years later, 2020 has been very interesting, or if you're watching it right now. But 2020 has been a very interesting year for our country, for the world. We've had this stupid pandemic that has isolated us and shut everything down and changed a lot of the way we live. And then we've also had the George Floyd incident with Black Lives Matter. And so there has been a lot of tumult and hardships and a lot of soul searching with people and a lot of hatred as well and a lot of love. There's just been a lot of everything, depending on who you talk to and about it. But most people, if you talk to them about 2020, like I see a lot of posts on social media now that the year is ending, and people are more remembering the things that are challenging instead of the good things that happened and maybe this how they grew and became stronger. And so that's a normal thing for our brains to do. It's kind of like a drama queen, the lower brain. It's just kind of like this drama queen that likes to just focus on negative because it's doing that to try to keep us safe. It can't reason, and so it doesn't realize that when it just focuses on all the negative things, it is not helpful to us and can keep us feeling bad about ourselves or not seeing what we have done. And so my mentor and one of my coaches, Jody Moore, she suggested writing down 20 successes for 2020. Because here's the thing, the story that you tell yourself about 2020, you're going to take it with you into 2021. So make sure it's a good one. If your story is about suffering and hard and fear and negative about yourself, do you really want to take that into 2021? It's like your past does not need you anymore. Your future does. And so I was a little bit nervous to do that. I thought, 20 things? Can I think of 20 things? And that's normal for the brain to resist doing it, by the way. And I know that, and I did it anyway. And I want to encourage you to do it because it's pretty cool. And so I just want to share with you my 20. It's not to brag. It's to hopefully get your brain going for you, because that's what Jody did, and it really helped me get my brain going. And some of them are really minor, some of them aren't, and it's all good. So here's what I got, and they're not in any particular order. It's just kind of random what came to my mind. So the first thing that came to my mind was step into your power retreat. I created and hosted my first retreat for coaches. I have dreamt about doing this, like getting a beautiful lodge in Jackson Hole, having a chef that was right there for us to cook our meals and do all the food, and to have this amazing experience where we could come and learn how to become better coaches. I had a lot of amazing experiences with this. Some of them were so powerful that I wasn't really prepared to feel the awesomeness of it after the retreat. But one moment that I'll share with you that was a gut check for me, that was like my sacred moment, was I had been looking at homes, lodges, and I came to the point where I was done looking. I picked the place and I had to push the button for them to charge my card or what. And I just remember sitting there. I'd filled everything out. I'd filled the form out. And I was sitting there in that moment going, okay, you trust yourself to do this? Because I had not advertised at all. I didn't know how I was going to advertise. I don't have a big audience to advertise to. I hadn't figured out the rest of it. I just figured out the dates and where, and had a general idea of all those things that I had mentioned that I wanted to have at my retreat. And so it was in that moment, it was like, well, I trust me. Do I trust me to let my card be charged thousands of dollars and then figure the rest out? And it was a pretty cool moment. And so that was the one. And then when I got the retreat was amazing. Like I could do no wrong. And when I got home and I just let it kind of sink in, the other thing that was just overwhelming to me was just the effect that my daring to push that button and to go through with my dream, the ripple effect that I created. I can't even describe the feeling, but it was overwhelming awe of what I did, of me, and the results that, like, all the coaches that came, it was amazing for all of them. And then they're going to go and touch their families' lives, their clients' lives. I mean, the ripple effect it's just so cool to be the pebble. So that's my first one. I promise I won't take as long on the rest. But number 2, when COVID hit and they shut the gyms down and everything, I created a Because I Can workout group via Zoom. And I thought, how can I still help my people so that we can still have some sense of belonging to each other? So I thought, I could do Zoom. And we can see each other. We can all work out and see each other, talk to each other. And then I also took care of them mentally. At the end of each class, I did like 10, 20 minutes of coaching to help them mentally. So that was pretty cool. Number 3, I worked really hard on repairing my 4th tear, my rotator, without surgery. I worked weekly. I went to my neighbor that's a myofascial therapist, and I had injections that I can't think of the name of it. Prozolone injections. I fasted. I asked family to fast with me and pray. And it worked. And believe me, to me, it's a miracle. Having gone through 3 tears that had to be repaired, it's a miracle. It's an answer to prayer. Okay, so a couple years ago, I lost 27 pounds. I've kept 20 of it off. Daily affirmations. I did daily affirmations at least once a day. I usually try to do it morning and night. First thing I hear, last thing I hear of the day. I did it 98% of the time. I hardly ever missed. 7, developed a better relationship with my husband. And that was something, like, we have a great relationship, but I wanted to work on improving it more with my thoughts, and being aware and seeing more. I ran 2 different relationship courses, which was kind of cool for couples. I created a calendar for 2021 with a monthly focus for my clients. And in that, I had my pictures and Heather's pictures. It's a really pretty calendar, and I'm excited to do that this year. And I'm going to do a video at the beginning every month explaining the focus. let's see, number 10, I became a stronger person during COVID. My goal was to focus on what I had control over because everybody felt like we didn't have any control. My goal was to focus on what I do have control over. I up leveled. That was my thing that I would try to help everybody with is 4 ways to up level. Number 1 was move my body every day to work out some form. And to focus on, number 2 was to focus on what I have control over, like my routine every day. I have control over that. And then to reach out to somebody daily, and then to connect with myself, like how can I take care of me? What can I do to grow? And come out on the other side stronger instead of overweight and a mess. Number 11, alone. Ty and Aubrey told us about the reality series of it's called Alone, where they go out and they try to survive. And we've watched 2 seasons, but the thing about it, I've always tried to be really mindful and grateful of the comforts that we have, the peace that we live in, my health, my family. I've always tried to be really aware and grateful, but it just took it to another level. And the other thing that was really interesting to watch is these people missed their loved ones so bad. Some of them had to go home because they just couldn't stand being without their wife anymore. It just made me have more tender feelings for Rusty and for my boys, my daughter-in-laws, my grandson and grandbaby girl. My cycling classes. So I think I missed one. I did. I missed this one up here that I have to do that one first, but I stopped teaching pump and any of my strength classes. This was kind of hard to do because pump is my favorite and I love the people and I wouldn't see them anymore. But why it's a success is because I did what was best for me so that my shoulder could heal and I wouldn't tear my other one again. So then the next thing is I kept my cycling classes, and every single class, I've always had a goal to be uplifting and inspirational, give them a good hard workout, but also be inspirational and uplifting. And I did that. Every time I'd leave my class with a quote. I use phrases and realizations during class the whole time, and people really like that. I try to create a bubble in class that we're just separated from the outside world and we're just there and taking care of ourselves physically and mentally. 13, love my body, my midsection. That's always been a challenge for me ever since Aaron was born because of my emergency C-section and what my tummy looks like. And I've been working on loving it for a long time because I used to have a really pretty tummy. Pretty tummies are a big deal to me. And I don't think mine is. And so I've been working on it. And I do stand in front of the mirror and look at my tummy. And I'm believing that it looks fine, that it looks good. 14, my group that came to the retreat, we have become friends. And they come from all around the world. Boston, Massachusetts, Virginia, Kansas, Texas, Montana, all over. We didn't know each other at all, and we are good friends. And I've continued that group in a mastermind group where we get together monthly to improve ourselves as coaches. So that's pretty cool. 15, I gained a stronger testimony of the Book of Mormon. That was our focus for 2020 and for our profit. And for the Come Follow Me program. Not being able to meet in church is like, wow, it's just one more thing to me that the church is true and the prophet is called of God, and everything that was set in place so we could continue to worship without a hitch. And the Book of Mormon, as we read it, it is so applicable to today. Every almost week we would say, well, that's timely for right now. 16, I set a goal to save 10% what I earned. Okay, and did that. I loved and developed myself. Let's see, loved myself and developed my self confidence more. I took it to another level. It's a lifelong pursuit, and there's just always another level to go. Started a podcast during COVID, Find, Be, and Love Yourself podcast. Became an advanced certified life coach through Jody Moore, and that was pretty cool. I was one of 12 that made it in, and there were hundreds that applied. And that was probably, that was probably the best thing that I did for myself this year. I loved every minute of it, and I'm a better coach now. Last one is I went to Iowa all by myself. I have never flown alone. And so I did that because I wanted to go and help Sean and Taylor when Lyndon was born and take care of Lance. And I just wanted to go and be a good mom and serve them and help them. And it was also right when Ty and Aubrey got married. And so I wanted to be a mom for the kind of mom that I wanted to be for both of them. And so that was kind of cool to be able to do both. And that goes along with part of I wanted to try to connect with my boys more and reach out to them and be more in touch with them more this past year. And so it was all kind of part of it. And it was during that same time that I freaking decided I was going to get going on my retreat. So anyway, I hope that you'll take the chance, the opportunity to recognize what your 20 successes were for 2020. It's a great way to end the year and begin 2021 and to recognize, you know what? I did some things and it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad.